Hi, so we are here with Hannah, and you're going to pronounce your last name for me.
Okay, I'm Hannah Schladweiler from Beechwood, Wisconsin, and I own and operate Meadow Goods, which specializes in historical laundry products and methods. I do quite a bit of sewing, and I also am lucky enough to carry the line of Morning Glory's mid-1860s morning jewelry. So.
Oh, very good. Can you explain a little bit about your products?
Okay, so a couple years ago, I found this really cool recipe for this 1884 original bluing, which is a Prussian blue based bluing, and I kind of fell down a rabbit hole. So that's I grew up as a reenactor, so I've always been interested in that sort of stuff. But once I got started with the Prussian bluing, I started learning more and more about the different laundry techniques, the different kinds of bluings. I got into starches, things that have starch-like qualities but are not actually starches, like our gum arabics here, and the bran water. It's another very popular thing that they used for washing, because bran actually has some cleaning properties, believe it or not.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, it does, and it's very good for your skin, too. Marie Antoinette bathed with a bran pillow.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So you can wash your clothes with it and your bottom all at the same time. Well, maybe not at the same time.
Whatever woman wants.
Yes. So it is good for your skin. It looks a little weird, because when you boil it, it kind of turns this weird yellow color. But it does have some good cleaning qualities. It has a light starching quality to it, and if you're washing like a cotton print, it almost like revives the color a little bit. So it's a very cool like kind of soap substitute with the starch already built in, one-step process.
Okay.
Use the bran water.
Fascinating.
The other thing that I really, really love is all of the different starches that we have too. So we're all pretty familiar with cornstarch, and some of us might even be making our own laundry starch out of cornstarch via all the do-it-yourself websites and stuff that are out. But cornstarch is actually like one of the least favorite starches that people were using historically. It has such a coarse nature that you don't get a really nice finish that you would get, say, if you were using like a wheat starch or a potato starch. Your best quality starch is going to be rice starch, actually.
Really?
Which never actually made it into laundry use in the United States until like the 1890s.
So why is it that cornstarch survived and all of these other different types of starches did not?
Because it got cheap,
I
think
see.
is the biggest thing.
Okay, that makes sense.
I recently wrote a paper on laundry during World War I, both on the home front and in the military. And I ran into a couple books that said that you might be tempted to use cornstarch because of its economy. But people who only use cornstarch have not examined their other options. So it's a quick go-to because it's easy to find, but it's not always the best option for clothing. So if you're looking at the starch spectrum of like coarse starches to really fine starches, it's going to go cornstarch over here, and then wheat, potato, and then your rice starch is going to be at the very, very finest.
Okay, so for all those historical ladies out there that want to starch all their clothing, where can they find your product?
They should. Okay, so I am on Etsy at www.meadowblossomgoods.etsy.com.
It's a mouthful.
Yes, and my stuff is also up in the LBCC historical Etsy shop as well. So there are multiple places where you can find it. Some of the 18th century versions are actually being carried by William Booth Draper as well. So a couple options on where to find them.
Very good. Now that's your products. Now a little bit about you.
About me. Well, I'm a mom.
Oh, very good. Is your daughter here right now?
She is playing with dolly clothes over there.
Estelle. Hi, Estelle.
We're going to take that as a no.
We're going to take that as a no. Very good. And you said you're from Beechwood.
Yep.
Okay.
It's a tiny little unincorporated town in southeastern Wisconsin. It's kind of near Kewaskum. Not that that's much bigger, but
Right.
that one is at least on a map.
Right, very true.
So I love the small town.
That's great.
Yep.
And you have a background in history.
Yes, I do.
Can you tell us a little bit about
I
what that
have
is?
been doing reenacting and living history since I was about my daughter's size. So we are now moving on to like 3rd generation reenactor kid here, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And my parents kind of have switched gears a little bit. They work on different historical stuff now. My dad has been doing a lot with steam power. So lots of turn of the century stuff with traction engines and locomotives if you're into trains and big tractors.
Okay.
And I kind of just love events like this because I love the socializing and I love setting up my camp and I love all that stuff.
Sure.
So I love just to bring more extra fun to it, and all of my products kind of help push things to the next level a little bit. Like
Right.
a lot of us have really awesome clothes, but now we have to.
But not know how to care for them.
Yes, if we will get a much more awesome look if we are maintaining them historically too. So.
And I have to confess, I bleach my shifts and my hats. Oh, I know. But that was only because, you and I have not known each other all that long. So now that I know you and
Well, for
have
your
access,
time period, you're going to need some indigo bluing.
Oh, okay. And you're going to have to explain to me how it works.
I do have videos up on my YouTube channel,
Oh,
which you
that's
can
right,
find if you
yes.
search Meadow Blossom Goods. So if you would like to know how to use indigo, check out the YouTube channel, and then you can see how to do it.
Well, let's look a little bit about your camp and tell us a little bit of your other things here in your camp.
Well, I don't have my full camp with me because my husband isn't with me this weekend, so it gets a little hard to set it all up by myself. So I have the little tent, and we've been doing laundry with the kids that kind of come through. Can try their hand with the wringer and that kind of stuff. So for the laundry, we're time period jumping a little bit, which is okay. It's all part of the learning process. This is our first adventure with my adorable little laundry stove, which is also technically a little bit later too, but...
And this stove was specifically for laundry.
Yes, it is specifically for laundry.
That is very fascinating. I don't know that I've ever realized that before, but...
When I was researching laundry stoves, there is like a whole class of stoves that are really small like that. I even found some that are small, and instead of like the bottom being pitched in like mine is like this, they're pitched the opposite direction, and they have stands where you can put your irons like all around the base of the stove. So it would heat your irons, and then there's definitely enough room on top for like a wash boiler for boiling water. The thing I've learned is that it's incredibly hard to fire that stove though, because you need such small wood, and you pretty much have to sit there in front of the stove and just keep chucking wood in.
It's
Otherwise,
very cute though.
Yeah, it never gets hot enough. I had it running for 2 days, and I finally boiled water yesterday. So.
2 days worth of wow, that's that. I wonder if there's a trick to it.
I had one of our soldiers splitting wood for me endlessly in order to make pancakes in the morning. So.
Well, at least there was someone willing to help you out with that.
Yes, he
And so-
definitely earned his breakfast.
Oh, perfect. And this is your first year coming to Horicon Living History Days.
Yep.
And we're very, very glad that you can make it and hope that you will consider coming back.
Oh, you bet.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.